Hey everybody, fWhip here, and welcome on back to Minecraft. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on this awesome little jungle wood house. I absolutely love the result of this thing. It sits perfectly here in the savannah. We are making something that can be a multiplayer survival base. It's got everything that you could possibly need for a little survival base inside of here, and it's really compact. It doesn't use that many resources. Everything that you can see right here is just spruce wood, jungle wood, and a little bit of cobblestone, and I think it's absolutely awesome. So let's get to it. Here we go, everybody. Here's the outline for the structure that we are going to be building up today. We've got a 5 long here, 5 long there, and then this one is 5 by 9, and then this major structure that we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 7 long, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a 7 by 9 there in the center, and then we got a little bit of a diagonal one that's going to be jutting out on this side just to help break up the shape for this. What we want to do to get started here, though, is we want to start bringing in a bunch of stripped jungle log. There's going to be a lot of placeholder blocks that we're going to be putting in for now. This side, we're going to be bringing this entire diagonal structure up to being 4 tall with the logs surrounding this entire little area that we had for the plan. The plan is going to be the direct outline of the main shape of the structures. We will come back through and add some extra detail bits to the outside of this one. But bringing this up just to being a quick 4 tall right there helps to open up this entire side and makes it super easy to be able to throw in a few windows later on, just like this. We can just use some of our jungle trapdoors to do that, and then from the inside, go ahead and break those open. These are a great way to make a little bit of a window in here without using any glass on this structure. I think it's absolutely awesome. What I would like to do in here is this is where our doorway is going to go, and we're going to raise this up to being 3 blocks tall for now, breaking out a spot for our door that will come back in and fill in later. This side over here, I would like to bring ourselves this little jut out that we have here, that 5 by 6 structure, going ahead and filling that entire one in with a layer of our jungle planks on the bottom, then bringing in some stripped jungle logs, stacking this one up again to being 4 tall this time, just to make sure it's even and we got enough headroom for ourselves on the different sides. For now, we're just going to leave it like this one. We'll bring the side up here again a little bit later on. Now, this structure over here, I like to have a little bit of variety inside of the roofs that we do inside these builds. So this one, we're only going to bring up to being 3 tall for our jungle log. So it's almost like a little bit of like a sunroom of sorts when we're done with it, just like a side offshoot. You can put your storage room in here, or you can put a kitchen in there where you might be storing some food that you might have. And you can finish that off by bringing it all the way around here. What we have left is the big main structure. This house would be rather boring if we left it off just kind of bland and boring and just these small angles that we have. So I'm thinking we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bringing that up to being 8 tall for this one is going to be very tall. And actually looking at this right now, I think we actually want that being up at the 9. And then this right here, you can just start piling up these logs. We will clear out some interior space for where we can get a way to walk around, so it's not just like blocking off this whole little room back there. But for this one, we have that being 3 right there, and we're actually just going to leave that being 3 wide on this one for now. And then bringing it back, we can just trace this whole line with the stripped jungle logs coming all the way back here, all the way up to that 9 stack. Now, this point is where things are going to get a little interesting for ourselves as we start to detail out the roof, because I like to intersect this spot right here and just give us a little bit more variety to this one, which bringing that in right there helps break up the roof design, where we're going to later come in and add a few things along this way. And then that helps to make this area feel a little bit smaller in itself. What that allows us to do is come back here and bring this one back in, and then on the outside, because we're going to be up at this layer, we can break out a window right there and put in some of our wooden jungle trapdoors right like this to bring that up to being that 2 tall. And we've got a great little spot for a window in here. As we bring in the roofs and everything, it'll start to make a lot more sense. Then coming out to this side, what we can do is just bring this out a single block right here, bring that up to being that 9 tall point there above off of our ground floor, and bringing out 1 more block for ourselves, so it comes out to being 2 blocks in total. And then we can just take this one going all the way back here, and it should look really cool. Now, that does leave this little awning off to the side that we will deal with right now as we're working throughout the roof areas. But what I want to do for the roofs is on these ones, go ahead and grab a few spruce stairs and start dotting them around. We're going to tackle this diagonal roof here first. What we need in total is going to be spruce slabs, spruce trapdoors, and some stairs. So we can do this going all the way around here along this entire structure. For this one, for the diagonal, we're going to go ahead and just fill ourselves in all the way around right back to here. Before you get to that end, go ahead and throw another stair right like that. Now, on top of all these little upside down slabs, go ahead and drop down a few trapdoors on them. It helps to round our roof bit out here a little bit further. And this one, now that I'm looking at it, we're actually going to turn that into a upside down stair right there. It actually looks a little bit weird, so maybe we just leave it like this for this example. Now, after we get through those, we can start just simply stacking up slabs going all the way around this guy, and we're just going to bring them up until they meet together in a point. This side over here is just going to chill on its own and just kind of extend over there. Where we're going to be coming up to the point is actually going to be right through this center spot. So this one's going to be kind of a cool little beveled point into the build, and we can just keep tracing these slabs all the way around. Adding in a few more layers of slabs into the structure, we can start to bring in a lot more bits of detail in here that are just make it so much more fun, in my opinion. We can start dotting in a few blocks of grass around here, and then also surrounding them with some trapdoors and things like that. On tops of our blocks of grass, just put some tall grass on there, and it really helps to break some things up. Even as we keep bringing everything up in here, the idea is to bring these slabs all the way up to the top of the structure, so they just kind of meet in one center point. This allows a few different layers that we can throw this grass on, and it really helps situate ourselves more into this environment that we're creating with our build here. So doing this, and then maybe we dot in like one block of grass right in here, we dot in one right over there, maybe we do this, and like there. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's no rhyme or reason to really where these ones are going here today, but they're all just gonna be some little bits that we can add in here and there just to provide some extra little bits of detail for yourself as you're walking around your own base. It just makes it look that much better, right? Just those extra little adds like this are absolutely perfect. And what I would recommend around the areas where you do have those grass, add up some trapdoors to make it look like they had to fortify the stuff around there, and it can look really, really cool. Now, coming over to the rest of these areas, I popped out a few spots as you saw for windows, and we want to start bringing a little bit of strip jungle log there at the top center. On top of that, we also want to be bringing in those upside down stairs, bringing those along here just like this. On tops of the outer edges of these, throw on some trapdoors, and it'll help it appear more fortified. And as we're moving around this area, we're going to have to unfortunately start stacking roofs on top of each other, and using those slabs is a great way, or those trapdoors, sorry, is a great way of showing that it's a different, unique roof. Especially you'll see as we move back into this one right here, because in this case we have the slabs there, and then we have this layer right down here, which is going to be moving up, and they kind of merge together in there. So if we stretch this block, like this roof line, out all the way back to here where it normally would be, it would just kind of merge perfectly into what's going on back in this guy, at least a little bit. So what we can do here to help that look more broken up and more unique and splitting them into two different structures is adding in that trapdoor line. It's a very, very slight little bit of detail right there, but it can help a lot. And what we can also do in here is bring in a little bit more of that grass that we were talking about and adding in some tall grass in here. And it'll just help mess around with your build. Maybe not there, because that would reveal perfectly on the outside from underneath. So we can move that back in a block, and that'll help out a lot. On these straight ones, I like to keep it very, very limited. On the diagonal ones, it's easier to make those be a little bit more on the chaotic side. Then, speaking of chaos, let's tackle the top of this building up here. We can start by throwing in some of these things all the way around the upside down stairs, and then bringing in some of our spruce slabs. And this one right here is just going to stretch up something right like that. We do want to throw the trapdoors on the edge of these. And then this guy right over here is actually going to come up one block taller than the rest of it, bringing up to that level for ourselves. And you'll see where they kind of merge in here together as we move throughout. So that would be here. This goes up. And then what I've been doing back here just to help add that extra bit of depth to it and keep it kind of in line with its box is I've been stretching it out to just that point. Then we can come in here and just throw a strip jungle log in the middle of that one, and it'll help keep it all in there together and just a little bit easier to tell, and adds that extra splash of the strip jungle log texture. One way we can add some more contrast into this build is by bringing in some cobblestone and mossy stone. The mossy stone helps bring the cobblestone into the strip jungle log because it's got a little bit of green to it that the jungle log has as well. But another way we can do it is bringing in some stairs right over here like this on this edge, which will help it be absolutely awesome and just perfect right in here. And then also bringing in some jungle trapdoors here to be a bit of a window for ourselves. The jungle trapdoors, in my opinion, make the perfect window for these types of almost savanna-ish builds right next to this great mesa biome. And so we can come in here on the thing that I like on these, if you're trying to make it in line with the wall, is you're going to want to make sure that it pops out kind of in this direction. So it's totally flat and lined up there. The reason being is we're going to add a small little bit of a garden patch right on this one. So we can do 3 things of farmland, 3 beetroot seeds, because the beetroot is a very vibrant one. It's very green, but it also has that great little bit of red color to it, which I think is absolutely awesome for these types of builds. Then in here we can throw in that window again, double stacking those guys. Maybe we can plop that down right there, and if we can, let's just go out the front door, right? That's a great way to do it. We got our jungle door down there. It's gonna be perfect. Then up here we can also use that same little awning bit that we just talked about and add that detail in right there. It helps to break up the flat faces of all these jungle logs, because let's face it, they can get pretty flat after a while. And if you want to, we can even come up here, grab a piece of dirt, grab some jungle trapdoors, and maybe a spruce stair to cover up this side right over here, and plop in an orange tulip for ourselves. Just get a little tiny flower right over there. Everybody needs more flowers in their builds, right? As we're going around, we can just pop around here and add in a bunch more windows. One thing that I really like about survival builds in Minecraft is just how many windows we have in these things. Because let's face it, it's kind of difficult to see the creepers sometimes or see things, and it really, really sucks to wander outside and just get run over by a creeper. What I also want to add in is a second back doorway. Right back in here, we can bring in a little bit of coarse dirt, you know, to get rid of our colorful concrete outline that we had down there. But adding in a little bit of coarse dirt can actually help us make this area a lot more interesting by adding in a pathway. It really structures the build inside of the world. We can do that and then just grab our jungle door and plop him right down in here. We will tackle the interior of this one later. I'll give you a little bit of a tour of what I've come up with that thing. Now this is the place where we actually want to be grabbing oak leaves as well as grabbing an oak fence. This structure right here is very big and very flat, and we can help that a lot by adding a spindly type of a tree. And this one, I want to make it look like it's got a little bit of a rock outcropping around it that's kind of helping it be almost like a plant potter of sorts. So we can come through here and just add something in like that, bringing in some slabs and stairs, and maybe we'll mix that up with a slab right there. We can bring one up to here and then do another right like that, and then fill this thing just with some dirt. That'll turn into grass as we go. But the tree design that I want to go with is we can just add this guy right here and have him kind of spindling all over the place. So we can maybe do one right there, another one bringing him stretched up to right here, and we can just plop in a window right on that. We don't want to add too many leaves into here. You know, while I'm thinking about it, what if we try, I didn't do this originally, but I kind of want to try mixing in the jungle leaves. That looks a heck of a lot better. This thing isn't meant to be very big. It's more meant to be like a vine creeping up the wall of sorts. Just something to add more depth into this build. Then down here, we can bring in our orange tulips and our red tulips and just colorify this whole spot down there. Helps kind of bring in the beetroots as well, because those things are pretty bright. Smacking in 2 more windows to the side of that structure, we can finally move on. And what I'm thinking right here, just to help break up that consistent texture we have of all those, we can actually add that what would be like a little band across the bottom being this jungle planks, and I think that'll help out bringing everything in here together. Then last but not least, on the outside, we can add in 2 more of our little windows right here, which these ones we can actually place from the outside, because otherwise there's not really a way we could occupy the blocks, the full block space, and be able to close it off with it being an even texture. So from the outside here is probably our best bet. And since we have this back here, we've got that little bit of the cobblestone over there. Why don't we just bring in a little bit more of that stuff and help kind of situate this environment together and just make this stuff look even more stuck into the ground here. And I think that'd be a great way that we can do this together. Just something like that. Very, very simple along the back edge. You could even plant some leaves down there. Whatever you really want to do can work in this regard here. But that is the entire outside of the structure. Besides, actually, I guess we need to throw in a few windows and maybe some more things on this side. Kind of missed this side as we were going around. But go 2 blocks in off of each side, and you can come in here, and then we can just grab our jungle trapdoors and set ourselves up, if we can fly through a 2 tall gap, with some more windows just like this. If you hold shift and space at the same time so you can fly, you can actually place trapdoors on top of each other instead of flicking them open. But that would be something that we can add in here. And it does look a little bland on this guy, so maybe we bring out a little bit of that dirt action that we were looking at earlier, and we create a few big plant potters throughout here. Let's go with a big one on this side and then a small one over here. Variety is the key to any Minecraft build that you're doing. If everything looks too consistent and too like it's everywhere, it's going to be a little lame after a while. So maybe on this side, we could even just bring in some grass. We could do like 2 things of grass, and then we can bring in our orange tulips and dot those in right there. As you're running around the build too, you might not really like how flat everything is being the strip jungle log. I personally love that consistency of it. I think it's great, but you can start to do a few little things like bringing that spruce up there, just having it overhang a little bit more, and kind of having the roofs intersected and broken up so they're not just so consistent. Like bringing in something right there maybe can work, and just breaking up the different ways that these things can be together. Even we can go along the lines of where we had that jungle vine tree here in the back, like this dude, and bring in a few more little viney bits right inside of here and just kind of have them extending all over the place. And there we have it, my friends, the completed house, interiors and all that. We're going to be doing a quick tour through here. On this one, I want to quickly point out I did add a small chimney over here, and I brought this window down by one just to add some more variety to it and add this outcropping overhang bit to it, so it just wasn't such a flat wall. But just want to point those out before we take a quick tour through this place. Coming in the front door, we've got our small storage room, greeting area of sorts in here. It's got pretty much everything you need for the storage purposes. Inside of here, we actually have 3 double chests that are going to be able to store a lot of your stuff. 5 barrels underneath your staircase. Then taking our first right, we get into that small little side structure, which is actually serving as a guest bedroom. And they have their own double chest to store some stuff and a barrel if they'd like to as well. Moving over to the next doorway, we actually have our enchanting room. We've got a full level 30 enchanting setup in here. That's absolutely awesome. It doesn't look like your typical ones, but I really like how this was able to work out in here. It's just enough bookshelves to make it happen. And we've got our ender chest, another chest back here, and some, of course, magical sea pickles. Moving on to the upstairs area, that's a kitchen over there we'll get to in just a moment. We've got another little setup up here. We've got a jukebox in the corner. You got some flower pots for color things around. The reason why I moved that window is because it brought it down to here, and I really like that. You could also bring in a little bit of trapdoor action there to get yourselves another shelf, but I figured that was just very full, so maybe you can do it right here and right above your bed, and you can put a few more flower pots or whatever the heck you would like to on there. We've got another ender chest in here just in case you're like me and you need way too many of them in any build that you're doing. I always have them everywhere. Coming into the kitchen now, I want to bring some greenery into here so it looked very lifelike and bright and everything. So we got some banners, has some drying towels over there that you could use. We've got a nice little cutting board here in the center. We've got our knife being our lever, more magical sea pickles, and we could place a loom right down there and it can help to work out to this one. We've got our furnace, we've got a blast furnace, we've got a chest, cauldron, pretty much everything else you could ever need in here. This has kind of turned into an ultimate survival base of sorts. I hope y'all did enjoy this one though. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank y'all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. If you like seeing these tutorials and want to see more of them, be sure to let me know what other ideas you have in the comments down below. And click that subscribe button while you're down there as well. We just hit 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you all so very much for the support. And with that, my friends, I will catch you on the flip side.